Good morning. Today we will start with the supplementary reader in English for class 10, Footprints Without Feet. So today I will explain you the first chapter of your supplementary reader. So the chapter that we are going to do today is A Triumph of Surgery by James Herriot. James Herriot was a British veterinary surgeon and writer. He used many years of experience as a veterinary surgeon to write a series of books, and each consisting of stories about animals and their owners. So this story, A Triumph of Surgery, is also an incident related about an animal and the owner. So the animal that has been described in the story is a dog named Tricky, and that dog it belongs to Mrs. Pumphrey. So first of all, let's start with the title of the story. So here, a triumph. Triumph means victory of surgery. Surgery here refers to the way the dog, like he is not taken care of properly. So it refers to the way he is brought back and how he leads a normal life again. So let's start. So this story is about a small dog named Tricky who is pampered by his mistress, Mrs. Pumphrey, and she overfeeds the lady is a very rich lady, and what she does is she overfeeds the dog. So the dog falls ill and he has to the mistress has to consult a surgeon. So let's read and find out whether a surgery is performed and does the dog recover or not. So let's start. I was really worried about Tricky this time. I had pulled up my car when I saw him in the street with this mistress, and I was shocked at his appearance. He had become hugely fat, like a bloated sausage, with a leg at each corner. His eyes bloodshot. Bloodshot means full of red lines. Bloodshot and rheumy. Rheumy here refers to wet. Rheumy means watery discharge that is from a mucous membrane, especially of the nose or the eyes. So here it refers to wet. Stared straight ahead and his tongue lolled from his jaw. So now in this, what is given here is, in this it is given, first of all, I was really worried. I here refers to James Herriot, who is a veterinary surgeon. So now in this, what he says is that the moment he saw Tricky, he was very much worried, and I had pulled up my car. Pulled up my car means stopped. So now in this, the narrator, that is James Herriot. So I refers to the narrator, James Herriot. So he says that he was very much worried when he saw Tricky this time. And what he did was, like he was passing by, he stopped his car when he saw Tricky along with his mistress. And the moment he saw him, he was quite he was very much shocked to see his appearance. And what he saw was that Tricky looked like a bloated sausage. Bloated means swollen. So he looked like a bloated sausage with the leg coming out from all the four corners. So he became very lazy. He became uninterested in all the things, and his eyes, they were like he's describing Tricky here. So eyes were red and they were wet also. There was water that was coming out. There was watery discharge that was from the eyes. So the eyes were red, they were wet, and they were just looking ahead. And his tongue was also out of his mouth, and it was lolling from his jaw. Mrs. Pumphrey hastened to explain, "He is so listless." Listless means lifeless. Hastened means quickened. He was so listless. Listless is lifeless. He was so listless, Mr. Harriet. He seemed to have no energy. I thought he must be suffering from malnutrition. So I had been giving him some little extras between meals to build him up, some malt and cod liver oil and a bowl of Horlicks at night to make him sleep. Nothing much really. And did you cut down on the sweet things as I told you? Oh, I did for a bit, but he seemed to be so weak. I had to relent. I had to relent. He does love cream cakes and chocolate so. I can't bear to refuse him. So now in this, what is given here is, in this it is given that Mrs. Pumphrey, the moment she saw Dr. Harriet, the moment she saw the narrator, she just tells the narrator that the dog was lifeless and he did not have any energy also. So, he had become quite lazy also. So, that the dog was suffering from malnutrition. So, what she did was, she gave extra meals so that he can just the dog was overfed, and then after that what happens is the dog was overfed, and it is that the dog was given extra food. He was given cod liver oil, he was given bowl of Horlicks at night time. And then after that the doctor asked Mrs. Pumphrey whether she had cut down the sweet things as he had told her in the previous meeting. So that time what she says is, she says that she did not give him for few days, but that was the time she could make out that the dog was becoming quite weak. So she had to soften, she had to relent. So as the dog is fond of cakes and chocolates, so she could not just control herself, and she gave the dog the sweet things also. I looked down again at the little dog. That was the trouble. Tricky's only fault was greed. He had never been known to refuse food. He would tackle a meal at any hour of the day or night. And I wondered about all the things Mrs. Pumphrey hadn't mentioned. Are you giving him plenty of exercise? Well, he was with his little walks with me, as you can see, but Hodgkin, the gardener, has been down with lumbago, so there has been no ring throwing lately. So now what she says is, so she the doctor has advised Mrs. Pumphrey not to give sweet, but she could not relent herself, she could not control herself. So what she did was, she felt that the dog was becoming quite weak, so she did continue giving the dog sweet things also. So then after that, the veterinary surgeon, Dr. Harriet, he looked at the dog, and he could sense that there was a problem with the dog. And the problem was that the dog was quite greedy. And whenever the dog was given food, it would not refuse food, be it day or night. So anytime he would eat the food, and it is Mrs. Pumphrey, she was just she did not mention everything. She did not tell everything to the doctor. So the doctor wanted to know from Mrs. Pumphrey if she is giving plenty of exercise. So that time she says that it is only that she takes the dog for little walks. And as the gardener, Hodgkin, he was suffering from lumbago. Lumbago means a backache. So he says that there is no other exercise for the dog. Nobody is there to throw the ring for him, and it is only for small walks, little walks, that the dog goes with Mrs. Pumphrey.